Hey everybody, happy Tuesday. Today's topic is acceptance, and here's why. So here in Pennsylvania, today is voting day, yay! And so that kind of brought me along that lines of political atmosphere and where people often focus when it comes to that stuff and the frustrations and like the lack of power that we have over that and all of that kind of stuff as the little man and all that kind of stuff. But here's then as I went through that road mentally, I was thinking about how so often when we talk about acceptance, it's often because we're putting a lot of focus on what's wrong with the world, right? With other people, how other people are living life wrong, and how we have to just accept it. I just have to accept that, she is the way she is. I just have to accept that this is the way life is. I just have to accept, right? And it feels a little deflating. It feels a lot of the focus is out there and on what the things are that we have to accept, right? The stuff that's going wrong, the stuff that we don't agree with, all that kind of stuff. And it also feels very passive, right? It feels like, oh, I just have to accept it. I just have to accept it. And so it feels very passive and defeatist and just that ickier feeling of lack of control. And I'd like to encourage you to look at it the flip side of that, right? Like, what is the flip side that's still acceptance? What's the other side of acceptance? So if we're keeping the focus on other people and what we don't like, and we know that we can't control it, and acceptance says we just have to accept it, right? That kind of lays flat, and it kind of can leave us feeling longing for more control, right? It feels like all the control has been taken away. Well, if I just have to accept it, that means someone has taken my control away. Let's flip that around and look at the other side of it. So the other side of the others is us. If I'm discovering that there's all this stuff going on out there that I don't have any control over, let's take the focus. Let's really look at, what do you have control over? Chances are there's something there is something. There's something you have control over. If it is just, acceptance, I mean, that is you taking control of things. But what else? What else do you have control over in this situation or in that relationship or in this country or, in your town or in your family or in your friendships or your relationships at work? What do you have control over? Have you found that you spent so much time focusing on what you don't have control over and complaining and wishing it were different? What happens if you take that same exact energy and flip it and be curious and dig in hard? You've dug in hard to find why these people do these things that they do and why it's so frustrating and why can't they just be different? Well, let's turn all those curiosities and focus onto yourself. Why is it so important to you? Why is the focus on what they're doing and not yourself? Why, are you thinking this way? And how can it be different? What do you have control over? What is your place in the relationship? What is your place in this country? What is your place in the town, in the friendship and work? What is your place? Where is your power? What are you doing? What are you thinking? How are you acting? What are the choices you are making? And are you taking action on them? So that brings us back to today. If it's a voting day for you or not, we can feel very defeatist. We can look at, things that are going on and just feel like it's so out of our control. All those people are controlling it. But what do we have control over? Voting is the action of acceptance. Voting is saying, I'm not the one making the laws, but I am where I do have some power. What I do have control over is who I vote for. And so by not voting, you are choosing passive. You are choosing to give power to those that do take the action. So take the action. Control what you have control over. Go vote if you're capable of doing so, if you're able to do so. Go vote. Do the things. Find the ways. Find the things that you do have control over and take control of them and take the action. When it comes to some frustration with something out there, shift the focus to in here. Focus on yourself, what you have control over and take action. Acceptance is action oriented, it's not passive. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you next week.